Hi Temple people, it's me Adam, and I'm here in our kitchen coming to you because I wanted to do some crafting and share it with you to sort of prepare us for our midsummer madness. I know that we're not getting together in person because of COVID-19 for summer solstice. And I wanted to sort of bring us together with some crafting and then share with you a little ritual that you can do at home if you want to. So the first thing or first video that I wanted to share with you was the creation of Natron. Now, natron, most of us know it as sodium now. Na is where we get the natron is where we get the Na in the periodic table. And but back in the Egyptian times, natron was actually salt ash or soda ash that they collected from different dried up lakes and things like that. And they would use it in a variety of ways. So they would use it for washing out their mouths, using for mouthwash. It was mixed with oils to be a very crude first sort of soap. And it was also used in a lot of their holy rituals, both in life and in death in Egypt. It was part of the mummification process, but it was also used as life, as soap, as mouthwash, and even in some healing things. But it's very purifying and helpful. But we don't really have any places where we could get salt ash around here. So this is a recipe that was designed by Michel Boulanger to sort of mimic that blessed salt that they would use in Egypt. So what you're going to need is pretty simple. It's baking soda or sodium bicarbonate, which is what actually replaced most uses of salt ash is this. And you'll need some sea salt. So it's a pretty simple recipe. I think most people can do it. But you know, I also am a baker, so I kind of have a skewed perception on that. But basically it's equal parts sea salt, and it has to be sea salt. I have one that has no iodine in it because we're trying to be as clear and cleansed as possible. So I'm making a cup. You don't have to use a cup. You can use any measurement you want as long as it's equal parts. And I'm putting it into my mortar and pestle. Yes, my mortar and pestle is huge and heavy. Anyway, and I'm putting it into the mortar and pestle because I like to break up the sea salt a little bit. I have coarse grained sea salt, as you can see, and it is pretty tough. I also think that it forms better crystals and connections if you've ground it a little bit more. It's up to you. And then I put my sodium bicarbonate in there, so I'm using a cup of this stuff. It's pretty crazy. And I'm going to pour that right in there, so I'm going to grind them all together. Now, this can take a while, so I'm going to go as fast as I can. But, so now this natron, or natron salt as it's sometimes called, which is kind of funny because it's like salt. It's kind of like chai tea. Chai actually means tea in Hindi, and we go chai. That is basically, you don't have to say tea because that's tea. So this natron I use it to make holy water. I use it for cleansing rituals. I use it in baths to cleanse me. Anything where I would need holy water or holy salted water, I use this. And since the summer solstice is a time to reconnect, a time to rededicate yourself to the craft, according to Anne Mora. I thought that this year I would work on reconsecrating all of my tools at Midsummer. So this is why we sort of make the Natron salt now. You can also make it now because the moon is moving towards new, so we are in a waning phase, which is all about purification, removal of obstacles, all of that good stuff. All right, that's looking pretty good for right now. All right, I might need a bigger bowl than this, but we'll see. Oh, I didn't get all of it very well. All right, but next step is adding a little water. So you don't want to add too much at a time. You want to sort of do it slowly because you don't want it to be overly wet. You just want it to be like a paste consistency. Now, this water that we're adding is basically to make it bond together in the oven. And we're pretty much drying it out as we cook it. So it's kind of a cool little process. Okay, so mine's getting a little bit better. We need a little bit more. Oop. And I do that every time. Ooh, it's getting tough. I like it. And it's getting pasty. All right, excellent. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I always add a little bit too much. And I'm spilling some salt on the ground. We're cleansing the space. Okay, that looks good. Then we get out our pan, and I'm using just a cookie sheet. I like the ones with the sides on them, just so that because the salt may get everywhere, and you don't want it to go off of the pan and then be in your oven. Then I put some parchment paper down because you're going to be lifting it up, and it's going to be a very hard, chalky sort of consistency, and you don't want to have to scrape that off of the pan. I'm just saying. All right, so mine's not. Okay. I could have totally ground these a little bit better, but whatevs. It'll work. And always make sure that if you're working with these sort of things that you wash your hands before and after. Not that salt's going to kill you or anything, but it's still, you know, you don't want to eat it all the time. It's going to taste pretty gross. Now I pat it out so that it's sort of a thinner consistency. So I would say it's about 1/4 of an inch high. That's like a third of a centimeter. I don't know. So I pat it all out. So it's on my tray. And I've set my oven for 170 degrees Fahrenheit. The recipe calls for 150, but our oven does not do 150. It does 170, and that is the lowest it can go. And you're going to put it in and bake it for at least 20 minutes until it is dry and chalky. When it's dry and chalky, then you can break it up. And depending on how humid it is in your neck of the woods, let it cool a little bit, but don't let it cool so much that it's going to reabsorb water, because then you're going to get mushy salt, which is not fun or useful. 1 second, I'm going to wash my hands. And as I said, this is used in holy water. You can use it in your bath water. You can, if you don't have a bath, put it in a bowl and put some salt in there, making a holy water, and then cleanse yourself as you come out of the shower. You can do that. Now, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm going to come back in a moment to show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so I just pulled it out of the oven, and it took about 20 minutes. And I'm going to bring you over here to look at it. So see, it's sort of white and chalky. And you can pick it apart and it makes big lumps like that. Now, I'm probably going to cook it a little bit longer just because I like mine really dry. But you can do it however you want to. This is a simple recipe. Really, all you want it to do is be a little chalky, and you're good. Then after it's all finished, I take it and put it into a dry, clean, airtight vessel. All right. You want it to be dry because you don't want to liquefy your salt and make it stick to the sides of your container. And you want it to be airtight so it's not going to take on any water while it's waiting around for you to use it. Okay. Now, I made a big bunch, so I've got a big jar. If you want to make a smaller batch, you can do that. It's totally easy. All you have to do is use equal parts of the the baking soda and the salt, and make it in a smaller dose. Then bake it at the same temperature. You don't want it to be too hot, but you don't want it to be, too cold. So somewhere within 170 to 150 is good. So I hope that you enjoyed doing this, and what we're going to be using this salt for is to cleanse ourselves, cleanse our tools, and get us cleared and ready to work with the divine. So I will see you next time. Bye!